everyone, it's Aura, and welcome back to Vampire the Masquerade Chapters. They released a second demo to coincide with the Kickstarter, which is now live. I'm going to link it in the description and probably in the corner. It's already reached its goal in like 90 minutes. It's currently at nearly 6 times its original goal. Still supported, it's got some cool rewards. And I suppose, to celebrate, they released a new demo. This time focusing on the social and mental features, which is something I'm super excited to see. Because if you'll remember, that was something I criticized the last demo for not having the social features. So this is about Ventrue, which is another clan that I really like. So yeah, let's just hop right into it. There's also some new features up here, which I actually don't know anything about, so that's exciting. Read this before you play. Welcome to Vampire the Masquerade Chapters Preview, a World of Darkness narrative co-op board game available on Kickstarter February the 4th. Each playable character will have its own prologue, meant to guide you step by step on a specific gameplay portion. In the Ventrue prologue, you will experience the dialogue system. Discover how to deal with diplomatic and conversation situations. This scenario is a sneak peek of a specific gameplay system. Complete rulebook will be available on the Kickstarter page. As a complimentary help, here are more information that could be useful to your first run through. Okay, so grammar could use a whole function. Double Ankh. When rolling a die, that is considered to be a critical success and is worth 2 successes. Good. You could use a willpower point to reroll up to 3 black die on a test. Alright, and then there's these bad boys, which I suppose the tutorial will tell us about later. And let us read the thing. Montreal, 8:30 p.m. As you relax in an old leather chair from Prohibition days, a bonus gleaned from one of your last transactions, you enjoy a glass of specially preserved blood while writing a last report. You type your last letters to the rhythm of the autumn rain hitting the large office window. Once your message is finished and sent, you conscientiously read the letter from the Prince of Montreal one last time. Mr. Armstrong, 2 important members of our community will visit you this evening, which could endanger the fragile alliance I've spent so much time forging. Their childish territorial dispute mustn't get out of hand. I was sold on your diplomatic skills. It's time to prove to myself that I was right to accept a member of the Vancouver lineage into the city. Failure is not an option. Martin Hilkers. You slip the letter into the paper shredder. As the machine's blade shred the letter, your apprentice announces the arrival of your clients. You open the door, politely thanking Amy, who you give the evening off, and tell your guests to come in. Both kindred enter the room, and you indicate their places for the meeting. The thinner of the two sits down. Gentlemen, I am Samuel Armstrong, a descendant of Siegfried, Prince of Vancouver. We are gathered tonight to shed some light on an embarrassing situation. In order to preserve the masquerade, our conversation will not be recorded. I invite you to begin by presenting the facts from your point of view. Thomas Chartrand, the Bruja, shaped like a woodcutter, who has remained still, points to Antonio Andrade, the thin Malkavian in a gray suit. It's simple. The bastard came hunting on my territory without permission. I'm willing to forget about it if he apologizes. Otherwise, there will be consequences, okay? Settled in a comfortable armchair and keeping his calm, the Malkavian retorts. It's just a little dispute over the right of pursuit. You know, as I was simply chasing a prey for a long moment, until it entered in his territory. But you have the right to hunt anywhere, as long as you began outside someone else's haven. And then it escalated to violence. So, Nothing in the laws of the domain prohibits me from doing this. Without waiting, the Bruja advances towards the Malkavian, who stands up, fists raised. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna rip your fangs out! You step in. Read card 01. Or D1. The situation is already tense between the two kindred, but by interposing and directing the conversation to both, you can maintain control over the discussion. Get to the heart of the matter, or take the time to talk. I'm gonna go with get to the heart of the matter. You adjust your cufflink while you choose your words carefully. We've only this night to prevent a fight between Camarilla and Anarchs because of your disagreement. Disagreement? This crazy dude came inside my territory to hunt! It's not a fucking disagreement, it's a domain violation! Aren't you being a tad dramatic over a prey that escaped me? One more word and you'll see real drama! The tension between both vampires rises once again. You must intervene. Reason with them, or protocol among mortals? So persuasion or occult? We don't have any occult, so persuasion seems like the better route. It's time to calm the situation down by appealing to reason. Just a minute, please. We're not governed by a beast. We're not Sabbat monsters who bring out our fangs at the slightest hitch. Our two societies have cohabited reasonably in Montreal for almost a decade. Let's make sure we preserve some semblance of civility, shall we? Social plus persuasion, difficulty 4. Alright, I already have 3 automatic successes. Ooh, but I do have a hunger die. Alright, so 1, 2, 3. F. 1. Well, I only needed the 1 success, so I mean, that's good. Outside, the autumn rain is hitting the windows. It's time to redirect the conversation to meet the prince's objectives. Respect the traditions or maintain peace. I'm gonna go with respect traditions, because that seems like that's kind of what I would do. Maintain peace seems like we're desperate. Alright, 3! So 6 successes. Oh, I should probably actually see what the difficulty of the roll was. Mr. Andrade, you'll agree that the tradition of the domain is a pillar of our vampire society. Our domain is also a hunting area we need to manage with care. If you feed on a local human population too often and too regularly, there will be consequences. There's no need to remind you of the Night of Ashes and what Inquisitors are capable of. Thus, a prohibited hunt on a domain can disrupt the entire balance. All our traditions, and especially that of domain, are pillars of kindred society for a reason. Do you see where I'm getting at? Alright, and that's difficulty 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, difficulty 5. I'm bad at reading. I'll grant you this one. No one shall deny the traditions. Perfect, adds the Bruja with a smile. The Malkavian seems serene. You've just won a round, thanks to the tradition of the domain. It's a good point when dealing with trespassing and Masquerade. This will not be enough. Move slowly with one of these options. Mentalist? Compliment the two kindred on their willingness to move forward, finding a solution, or get inside their heads to explore and exploit their weak points. Do I like to live dangerously? I'm gonna go with 52. Try and be nice about it. You approach the remainder, more relaxed. Thank you. I didn't expect to talk with such open-minded people when the prince entrusted me with this arbitration. Perhaps you had forgotten that the Bruja were also a clan of philosophers, so this room is filled with intellectual people only, he says, smiling. Yeah, don't let appearances fool you. Indeed. The atmosphere is lighter. This literal cultural effervescence allows you to shine a bit in their eyes. All you have to do now is guide the rest of the discussion. Take +2 social token. +2 die on your next roll using social. Dope. Does that say social? It sure as hell does. Dope. Alright. End of the course, or try and make an ally of the Malkavian. Subterfuge. I'm gonna have 5 dice, why not? You serve a glass of preserved blood to your guests. This meeting is remarkable. In another context, we could have been allies. More easily between Camarilla kindred, of course. Without discrediting your sect, Mr. Chartrand. You're paving the way to bring A. Andrade into your political and social net. Social subterfuge difficulty 4. So that's 1, 2, and I have 5 die. So I need 2 successes on this roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 successes? Yes! Kick ass. A smirk appears on the face of the Malkavian, Antonio Andrade. Do I have to hold the candle for you? Mr. Chartrand, never forget that you can always join the Camarilla. Join your sect? I'd rather die. Hey, Andre. The brouhaha remains particularly closed. Andre seems to be in a good mood. Move to card 61. There's a lot of cards in this. I want to see how they do this in the actual game with so many cards. Gentlemen, I'm glad we have clarified some points. I'd like to think that our discussion tonight has found a long-term solution for us all. You've used as many methods as possible to conduct the discussion properly. It's time to conclude the mission entrusted to you by Prince Martin Hilgers. So the brouhaha is, according to the traditions, right. But the Malkavian could be a really good ally. I'm gonna say we're gonna take the Malkavian side. Mr. Andrade fed on a mortal who crossed the boundaries of your territory, Mr. Chartrand. However, this was clearly not voluntary on his behalf, and no Masquerade breach was reported. Mr. Andrade will bring you 2 symbolic bags of human blood as compensation. Alright, just as I suspected. 2-tiered justice. Rest assured, Mr. Chartrand, that my verdict would have been the same either way. If Mr. Andrade had committed a vampire crime on your estate, he would have suffered the most severe consequences. Alright, social persuasion. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we need 1 more success. 1, 2, 3. See, I'm remembering to actually do the fuck. That's a fail, so now we're over at the E card. E5. It's a failure. Both of the mission the prince gave you and of your diplomatic skills. Of course, the 2 complainants were not simple mortals you could manipulate as you desire. But now you could be in trouble with even more people you shouldn't turn your back on. In a way, you were lucky, because in this world, mistakes are often fatal. However, it's clear that it's in your best interest to keep a low profile for a while, so these vampires will denigrate you for a while. Oh, so we don't even get to know what the hell happened? Status denigrated. Shit. Whether it's your fault or not, you suffer denigration by your peers. They no longer look at you for your true worth and pay less attention to you. Each time you roll a test with your social attribute in relation to a vampire, add 1 point to the tracker. When all points are reached, discard this card. Okay, so after 3 rolls, he goes away. That's kind of handy. So what do I do? End of the prologue. Flip the narrative card and read the conclusion. Boop. Tonight, the air is electric. A storm is coming. The burning paper in your glass lights up your face with flashes. Standing in front of office window, overlooking downtown Montreal, you think back to the hectic events that just happened the day before. When he left your office, Thomas Chartrand, the Bruja, felt the need to pass his nerves on some guy hanging out in front of his haven. It's a good thing such skirmishes occurred in Anarch territory. These separatists respect nothing, except, luckily, the Masquerade. That being said, if the story has come to your attention, it will soon become public. This will ultimately tarnish Montreal's reputation. This coexistence has a weird smell, and the prince is doing nothing to remedy. You are frustrated by status quo, but the prince's word must be obeyed. The flame goes out, reminding you of its contents. A summons to an emergency Elysium tonight. The first raindrops hit the window. You look down at the city one last time before it vanishes in the heavy rain. Relying on your experience, this Elysium does not bode well. 3 experience, and don't. Take the Special Umbrella item card and the Slash Fighting skill card. Special Umbrella. Cool. And Special Umbrella. Let me just... Okay. Sure would. Okay, whatever. So we got Special Umbrella, which does... less damage. Wait, no, more damage and more initiative. Huh. That's weird. I think this is Special Umbrella. Okay. That was really short, but I had fun. It's really fun to see the dialogue options in play. It's... I don't know, nothing special, but it's just talking. Hunger, well, came up. It didn't really come up. Oh! I could have willpowered. Oh, man. That would have been nice to remember. Yeah, so... I guess that's it. Really fun. I really like this game. Only issues I really have are some of the writing, mostly grammar in it. But I don't really have that many criticisms. Then again, this isn't really meant to be a review. It's just supposed to be a first look. So, yeah. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget that there is a button for that, and please be sure to subscribe if you want to see more content from me. Also, don't forget that you can back the Kickstarter for this game by clicking the link in the card. As always, my name is Aura, and trans rights.